Hi everybody, Tony Spera here, your moderator for Seekers of the Supernatural. Hey, we got a Paracon coming up. We're calling it a Phantasma Con because we're incorporating some horror into it also this year. It's going to be at the Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. It's a very big, beautiful resort. They have, of course, it's a casino. And they have about 43 restaurants. We're going to have a lot of guest speakers there as well. Jason Hawes will be there. Nick Pope, the UFO guy, very famous man, will be there. Ronnie LeBlanc, Rob Thompson, Cody and Satori. These are all paranormal people. Eugenie Bondurant from The Conjuring 3 will be there, the Devil Made Me Do It case. You can look her up. She was the witch at the end of the Conjuring 3. And there's others that I can't think of off the top of my head, but there's going to be a lot of people there, including me, my wife Judy, Dan Rivera, Chris Galoran, other team members that will be there, Rick Clark, Jimmy Petnito, Wade Kirby. A lot of my team will be there helping out. And we're going to have the museum there, a lot of the artifacts, more than we ever had. Some of the most important artifacts from the Warrens Occult Museum. Now, people tell me, and I get comments, that's why I'm shutting them off now. They know it all, It's like, why do you got to bring the artifacts there? Well, the town shut me down for showing the artifacts at the Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, because they said we weren't zoned for it. Now, Ed was showing that museum to people for years before he had passed. But I had a person complain and say that we weren't zoned to the town zoning department, so they shut us down. And I remember Ed telling me that any way you could show people that the devil exists, that you're evidence for the existence of the devil, and for paranormal people who are interested, like students of the paranormal, that you should show the museum. Well, I couldn't show it anymore, so I have a big event now at Mohegan Sun Casino to kill two birds with one stone. It's going to be on October 28th, 2023. If you want tickets, you can go to nespr.ticketbud.com. That's nespr.ticketbud.com. I'll put it in the comments. And as you know, I'm not real great at all this digital stuff. I don't have a big production value or anything. I try to give you honest information as I can. A few things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the state of our nation today. It's not in great shape. And why it's not in great shape, I believe, is because of demonic influence. I know you may laugh at that and say, you're full of, what makes the grass grow in Texas. That's what my father used to say. You're full of what makes the grass grow in Texas. So it's the way of the devil to encroach upon people's thoughts, their feelings, their attitudes. And that's exactly what's going on. It's been going on for years, by the way. But the devil is starting to get a foothold with things that are upside down. And when I say upside down, I mean upside down. When good is evil and evil is good. In Isaiah it says, woe to those who consider evil good. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Woe to those who call bitter sweet and sweet bitter. Well, what other time of your life have you ever seen anything like this, where now it's okay to hate cops, it's okay to defund police, whatever you want to do is okay. I don't believe in any of that stuff, where whatever you want to do is okay, because then there's no rule of law. There's chaos that starts to ensue, encroach on our lives. People steal stuff from a store and they don't get prosecuted. I remember when I was a kid, if you took a candy bar, you were in big trouble. But nowadays, things are much different. And I know why. It's because of the devil's influence on society. We have to get back to what's right and what's wrong. And what we're doing today, things we're doing today are wrong, very wrong. I'm testing out this new microphone. I hope it's okay and not too echoey. I don't know. It's just a cheapo mic, really. But at the Paracon, we're going to have a lot of good things going on there. And you'll meet me, of course. And we have about 150 vendors there too that are going to be displaying their wares. They're going to be giving readings. The occultists, the psychics will be giving readings. People always say to me, like, it gets back to, they say, why don't you destroy this stuff? Well, you're only destroying the vessel. You're not destroying Annabelle. You're not destroying the shadow doll. You're destroying the vessel. Just like when you pass on from this realm, you're going to have the vessel be destroyed. It'll be withered away or die. But your spirit, you will never die. This I know. I know this through all the years of investigation with Ed and Lorraine Warren, that you, me, will never die. You'll even see your animals in another life. A life of eternity, by the way. This is just a setup for what's coming. You'll be judged, of course, by your actions today and through your life. People seem to think they can skate away and say, well, I can do whatever I want because there's no God. Well, you can think that, but how about if there is a God? If there is a God, you're in big, big trouble, aren't you? So you should actually try to live your life. Now, you know what right and wrong is. Where did that come from? That's not random. Instinctively knowing it's wrong to kill someone. Instinctively knowing it's wrong to hit someone in the face, to steal. You know that's wrong. It's something that's in you. You get a feeling of guilt. That didn't come from the Big Bang Theory. It didn't. That came from a higher power that has intelligence, that gave you intelligence. And just remember that, okay? Remember that God is an all-powerful being. God is a merciful being. But God is also a just God. You have to pay the piper down the line. There is no free lunch in this life or in another life. You may get away with it for a little while, but you're not going to get away with it forever. Also, I want to let you guys know that I made a movie, a short little film. There's a young man by the name of Joey Ambrosini. He's an avid student of film and an actor. And he made a film a few years ago, a little short thing, about 10 minutes long, called The Jackpot Hit. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on IMDb, I believe. I know you can find it on IMDb. The Jackpot Hit. I'm in that. I play a mob boss. And we just got through filming a new one called Making Bones. And that's a title that I came up with and a storyline that I came up with for Joey. But he writes all the scripts. And Joey's about 22 years old, Joey Ambrosini. Very, very nice man, young man, and very dedicated to the craft. So I played a mob boss in this one too, Carmine DeLuca. And I had mobsters standing behind me. It was pretty cool. That's not out yet. That one would be out probably in November, December. It's about 20 minutes long. I think they're pretty neat. And of course, we'll have critics saying it was lousy, but I don't care. I enjoyed doing it. I know it's going to be a great movie. And Making Bones, by the way, where'd that title come from? Well, if you're a mob guy and you want to get made, in other words, be a full-fledged member of the mafia, you have to make your bones. They call it making your bones. To make your bones, you have to do something like kill somebody. Something that the boss wants you to do, usually it's to kill someone else. So I came up with the title, Making Bones, for a young man who needs to make his bones in the mob. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. What else do I want to talk about? I don't know. Where do we go after we die? Where do you think you go after you die? Nowhere? Do you think you go 6 feet underground? I'm here to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, and people who have lost loved ones, that is untrue. There's too much evidence to the contrary that life lives on, that your spirit lives on after death of the physical body. Now, I lost my mom at age when she was 45. I was 17. And I've never been the same since. I lost my brother, who was my hero. He was 4 years older than me. I lost him when he was 27 and I was 23, a long time ago. And to this day, I think of them. And my father died in 1986. He lived to be the oldest. He was 66. And for your young kids, you think that's old. But wait till you turn 65. You won't think 66 is old. You really won't. It's all relative. You know, you look in the mirror when you were 10. Hey, I'm 10. I look pretty good. You're 20. I look pretty good. Even I look in the mirror now. I'm pretty good. But you get old. But it beats, to me, it beats dying. Because even though I know I'm going to heaven, I want to stay on this earthly plane as long as I can and learn the lessons of life. And there are many lessons to learn, and we'll never learn them all. And we'll never learn them all totally. Now, I'm going to another subject, UFOs. Been a lot in the news lately about UFOs. And I know I'm going to get feedback. I don't even have the comments on. I'm not going to. I'll get feedback that there are no such thing as aliens, that aliens are evil, demonic entities. I don't believe they're demonic entities. I believe they're humanoid. I believe they come from another either galaxy or another planet at least, and they could come from so far away that we can't even fathom that. Just because we live in a reality that we can only go so fast and time is a certain way doesn't mean that there aren't beings out there that have lived before us that have wisdom that we don't have, maybe millions of years ahead of us. We don't know. It could be thousands of years, hundreds, millions of years ahead of us. And maybe we can learn things from them. Other people say, well, how come we don't see them? Well, the government's hiding them. The government's hiding the aliens, the dead aliens that they have captured or recovered. And they're hiding the spacecraft also. Don't ask me why. It's probably classified because they want to try to develop the technology. They want to reverse engineer the anti-gravity mechanisms that are used in alien spacecraft. I know you all think this is a bunch of hooey, maybe. Ed used to call things like, when people didn't think his stuff was real, they'd say, oh, that's a bunch of hooey. Well, that means false. That's not true. It isn't a bunch of hooey. I totally believe that there are other lives in existence in other places. It doesn't blow up the theory of God to me. And why doesn't it blow up the theory of God to me? Well, you know why? Because God created the universe and all that's in it. What's the Bible say? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Right? It said he created man, too. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it says God only created man on earth. Nowhere else in the universe does any life exist. I don't think that's in the Bible, and I don't think that's true. I don't think life doesn't exist somewhere else. The universe is so vast, ladies and gentlemen, that no one knows the size. You can get the greatest minds in the world. They'll guesstimate, and they could be so far off. They could be off by a multitude of 10 or 20 times or 100 times. We don't know. You know, they'll say, when was the universe created? They'll say 13 billion years ago. How do they know? They're guessing. No matter what they say, they're actually just guessing by some evidence that they received. It's not absolute truth, you know. So I say to people, when they say there's no such thing as aliens, no such thing as ghosts, especially when they say there's no such thing as ghosts, I say this. Did you have a dream last night? Did you have a dream, vivid? Or not even vivid, but you remember what it was? Okay, say I had a dream that I was climbing the Eiffel Tower from the outside, and I made my way all the way to the top, and on the top somebody handed me a banana, and I ate it, like I'm King Kong, you know? And then I jump off the Eiffel Tower and land softly. And you'll go, wow, that's cool. Can you prove it to me, Tone, that you did that? You had that dream? And I'll say, no, but I had it. Just like you could say to me, no, I had the dream. But I'll say, prove it to me. You can't. You know you had something, but you can't prove it. I'll say, do you have a brain? And you'll say, yes, I have a brain. I'll say, can you see your brain? And you'll say, yes, under certain conditions. You know, after you die or something, somebody opens you up and see your brain. And I'll say, well, do you have a mind? And you'll say, yeah, I have a mind, of course. Well, let me see your mind. You can't. You cannot see your mind. Where did that come from? Where did those thoughts come from? Where did the next word that I'm saying out of my mouth come from? How do I know what my next word is going to be? It just flows out. How do I know? There's a lot of things that you cannot explain in any real way to someone to convince them. There are some people, and you'll never convince them that there's a mind And they'll show you brain activity, and they'll show you, like, the electromagnetic. No, I want to see the mind. You can't see it. You can't feel the mind or touch it. So that's my answer to people who say there are no such thing as ghosts. Yes, there are. There are such thing as ghosts. And I hope you never have to see one. But you could be a ghost when you pass away from this life. When your body passes, because you are two things, you are spirit and a body. When your body withers away and dies, your spirit will live on and go on. Just like an old car that broke down on you on the side of the road, and no matter what you did, you couldn't get it started and going. You don't stay with the car, do you? It's dead. You take off and you go on your journey. That's what's going to happen to you. Don't be afraid of dying. Of course, don't rush it at all. Don't rush dying, because living is a beautiful experience. But remember this too. Dying is a part of living. Death is a part of life. God made it that way. And we have to abide by God's master plan, don't we? So I want you guys to come to the Phantasma Con. It's going to be called the Warrens, Seekers of the Supernatural Phantasma Con at Mohegan Sun Casino and Resort. Fabulous place. They have over 43, maybe 44 restaurants on site, along with all the gambling. They have swimming pool. They have all these other activities that go on besides gambling. It's a real resort area. It's in a remote part of Connecticut, the Indian land. And so you don't have to worry about traffic or anything either. They have a giant hotel there, which houses a lot of people. Beautiful hotel. So I hope to see you guys there, whoever can make it, on the 28th of October. Like I said, tickets are NESPR, which is New England Society for Psychic Research, nespr.ticketbud.com. So I hope to see all you guys there, and I hope you're well. Thanks a lot, guys.